So this is the agenda. We will do a walkthrough in Business Central and look into ExFlow User and the user card. After that, we will talk about some information, for example, what to do if someone is going on vacation or if someone is leaving your company and so on. And then we will look at the questions that you might have towards the end. So let me open Business Central. Okay, this is the start page that I have in Business Central. It might look a little bit different to you depending on what role you have. But on the top part here, I have pinned some of the most common places where I go in Business Central. You can unpin it if you want to. And then you can bookmark the ones that you feel is important to you. We will start by going into ExFlow users. I have added a bookmark here, but you can click on the search button up here, or you can push Alt-Q on your keyboard. Keep in mind, you don't have to write the full whole name of what page you're going to. You can use some parts of it. So for example, here I'm going to ExFlow Users and I only wrote this part. So this is where we have all the ExFlow users. Let's start from the top part here. You can work with filters here, so you can create and save filters. I have two filters here, but I'm going to show you how to create a new one. So you push on this filter panel up here, then you will get this. So let's say that I only want to see the ones with the language code English, for example. This is my search, and if I want to save this, I push the Save As up here and name it as I want, and then it's saved. So then you can see it here. So you have easy access to the filters that you save. Next here, add replacers. So the user that you're marking, if you push add replacer, it's for that person or the user that you are focusing on. So if you push add replacer, you will get this. I'm going to show you on a user that I created for the purpose of the info session today. So here, you can see that this user has a replacer here. You can see the dates. If you and not your user are adding a replacer, you can do it for all companies, or you can choose if it's some part, like some of the companies. You add the replacer and the start and end date, and then push add replacer. If you want to delete one, you just push manage and delete, or you can push here and delete. Next one, we have something here called approval group. So every time that you create a user, that user gets an approval group. So for example, Cecilia here has an approval group. So if I push here, I can see that in this approval group, we had some replacers. And you can see the dates and who it was, for example. If you push the view, hide, and blocked, you can see all the users that you have blocked in the system. So let me show you all of the users I have. And if I push this one, out here on the right, you can see in the blocked column that it's gray. That means that it's a user that it's blocked. Here you have user fact box sizes. So if someone is working in Business Central and wants to have, for example, in the report journal, if they want to have the invoice picture bigger in that fact box, you can here set the percentage to a bigger size, for example, or a smaller if you want that. And you can do it different for different users. Out here, you have send reminder. So if you push here, it's for the user that you are marking, and it sends out a reminder for all of the companies that the user belongs to. Under actions here, we have something fairly new. You can work with something called ExFlow reference codes. If you have users and you want to batch create a reference for each user, you can push here. And if you want to create it for only one, you can push create ExFlow reference. And we have an info session about this a little bit later in the fall that I really recommend for you guys to join if you haven't signed up. Yeah, let's open a user and see how it looks like on the user card. So up here, you have the same buttons as on the first page. So it's nothing different. It's the same. It works the same way. So let's talk about from user ID here. User ID, this is the username of what the user is named in BC. And down here, user name. That is, for example, for the web users, the name that they see on the web in the approval flows, this is the name they will see. So for example, if I am approving an invoice, I can see that Cecilia is the next one in the flow, and this is the name that is showing. Here on email, this is for authentication in the web. So this is the one that the user uses to log in with. If you have added a setting on the BC user and not on the ExFlow user, then that is where the email reminders are sent. So if you have not set one on the BC user, this is the email that is used. And then we have language code. This is what language you want the reminders to be sent in. So for the email reminders regarding unapproved documents and discussion panel, this is where you choose what language it will be in. And then under here, preferred approval client. This is where you choose if the user is going to approve the documents on the web or in Business Central. The most common is the web. So when the user get an email of notification that they have a document to approve, the link in that email reflects what you have chosen here. So if you have chosen ExFlow Web, that is where the link will send the user. And then we have blocked here. So if this is ticked and it's all gray, means that the user is fully blocked. And then we have the email reminders. So you can here choose if you want the users to get reminders regarding unapproved documents and also the discussion panel. So if someone is like tagging another person, they will get an email reminder regarding that. Down here, Business Central notifications, same, but you will get the notification in Business Central. So this is just for Business Central users. You can have both ticked. So you can get email reminders and also Business Central notifications. Down here at permissions, you can block and unblock the user. You can see here that I have 3 companies on this user and that I have different web permission roles on the company. So I have power and then super and super. This is the web permission role is something that we will talk a little bit more about in a few slides. That's the permission, basically, what the user can do on the web when approving documents. However, you also can use user coding rules, and you can set different on different companies. And we have an info session about the user coding rules as well on the 3rd of October. So I recommend that one as well. And then dimension filters here. This is one more way to give the user on the web access to more documents. So for example, if you have a dimension, let's say the administration department, and you want the user to get access to all the invoices that has that dimension on the line, this is where you can add that. You can also add several dimensions, so it does not only have to be one. And then related resource number, this is for the dynamic approval flow based on project, and related purchase code as well. You can also use related purchase code to send out specific emails. And you can read some more about that on our documentation platform, where you can find a manual, or if you contact your support. Previously replaced by user. This is, for example, if your user has left the company, and when you block the user, you can see whom you replace the user with here. And then we have max amount for final approval. This is, for example, if this user, let's say the first one here, is the last user in the approval flow, and the full the amount is for document level, so not on the rows, it's on the document level. So if the amount is above this amount, then the person will get a denying message saying that you won't be able to approve the document. And then we have blocked. So you can block, see if your user is blocked in one company or all companies here. So you don't have to block the user for all companies, for example. Yeah, that was what I was going to show in Business Central. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so some other information. This is the web permission roles. This is the one that you set on the user card that gives your users the role on the web, what they can do there. So if you set an approver, then that approver can approve, reject, and set a document on hold. If you set power, then it's the same as above, but you can also forward documents or add or change encoding. And this is when it's good to have the deny encoding rules to prevent the users from using the wrong accounts and so on, for example. And then if the permission role is the approver super, it's the same as above, but you can also see all approved documents in ExFlow history. And then if you add admin, it's the same, but then the admin can do settings that applies to all ExFlow web users. So those are the web permission roles. Let's say that one of your employees is going on a leave, they're going on vacation. So as mentioned, each of your user has an approval group that they belong to. So if a user is going, for example, then on vacation and wants someone to possibly approve invoices during that time, when they add a replacer, that replacer becomes a part of that approval group. So meaning both the person on vacation and the replacer will get emails saying that there's documents to approve, but only one of them can approve the documents. Also, let's see. Yeah, we went through this. Here, there's also one more thing. If you want to see a report of all of the replacers that you have within your company right now, you can generate this one. You can find it under ExFlow reports, and then user, and then ExFlow user replacements. And then let's say if someone is leaving your company. No, going on the leave, on vacation, and the user wants to set the replacer themselves in the web, then they can push two places. They can push up on their name and go directly to settings, or they can push the replacers button in the middle. You can see it here, it says 0. When they set a replacer, then that one will change to a 1. You can have several replacers, so depending on how many you have, the number differs. But if you have a period where you have a replacer, you can see that here. When they are adding a replacer, they have to add company who is replacing, start date and end date, and then push add. Then they will get a row like this. If they want to take this away, then they just push the cross button. So let's say that a user is leaving the company. Then you have the opportunity to replace that user with another one. You can then give the new user access to history, meaning like all your previous documents that the previous user had. But also when you replace the one who's leaving with a new one, you could also tick a button saying that we want the new person to have all the approval roles and update dimension owners and so on. So if you, let's say your CFO is leaving the company and you get a new CFO, then you push block unblock user, and then you will get this. Access history gives the new user access to all the previous documents. Replace approval rules, then add the new CFO to all the approval rules, meaning you don't have to do the manual work to add the new CFO into all those rules, for example. However, you don't have to push any of this if you want to. But you always have to, if someone is leaving the company, you always have to add a new user here. And that is because if documents are out for approval at the moment, then that user will get those documents and it won't be any problems in the system and no documents will get stuck and so on. So for example, add their manager there or something. And also you will see up here, if it's blocked, then it will be turned gray. You can see on the line or under permissions here, if it's blocked in one company or only one or more companies. And then let's say if that a user is returning to your company, it's rehired for some reason, and you want to reactivate that user again, then you push block unblock user, and you will get a message saying, do you want to unblock the user? And you push yes. This user will not automatically be added back to the previous approval rules that they belong to if you had checked that they should be replaced by someone else. So you will need to do that manually.